The Southampton game was done. We need to just, Southampton, just brush it off, brush it off. It never happened. But yeah, now we're on to the Champions League. Oh god, first leg of the quarterfinals against Sporting Club de Portugal. Look, we need a win. Back-to-back losses we've had now against Man City and now against Southampton. Surely can't make it 3 in a row. Please don't make it 3 in a row. We need a win. And it's not going to be easy. A lot of people say, oh yes, let's go, we got Sporting Club. It'll be easy, it'll be easy. It will not be easy. Especially the fact that the first leg is at their ground. If we escape with a draw or a narrow win, I think we need to take that as a huge advantage. That's a huge thing for us. Because at home this season, they've only dropped points or lost/drawn in 3 games. 2-1 loss against Victoria in the League Cup. 2-1 loss against Porto in the league. And then a 1-1 draw against Braga in the league. But even that 1-1 draw against Braga, it took a 97th minute penalty to equalise the game. So at home, they're no joke. And especially if you look at the last Champions League game, they were 3-0 down against Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt who did they beat? Pretty sure they beat Man City, they drew against Tottenham, they beat Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan twice actually. And yeah, they were 3-0 up in the first leg, only to lose and get battered by Sporting 5-0. Obviously went to extra time, but yeah, 5-0 in the second leg. Sporting Club, they're no joke. They are no joke. If you're looking at Arsenal now, obviously, like I said, we're not on great form. We are not on great form. But if you're looking at injuries now, that is another big factor though. Injuries is starting to hurt us now again. Apparently he won't be back for this game. I don't think he was seen in training, but he should. He's aiming to be back for the Bournemouth game, next game in the Premier League. Hope it'll be great to see him back. Gabriel's back, which, thank God. I thought after he went down, he's holding his knee. I'm like, no, this is not going to be good. But apparently he's back in first team training, which is great. Declan Rice is also back in first team training alongside Leandro Trossard. And Noni Meadow is there as well, but as you can see, he's wearing a bit of a knee brace. So, yeah, that's not great. However, players that weren't there, obviously, like I said, Eberechi Eze is not there. Bukayo Saka still not there. Yurian Timber and Piero Hincapié. Those 4 have not been seen in training. There's a little bit of hope with them because apparently the journalists and the photographers are only allowed to be there for the first 15 minutes of the training session. So unless them lot came afterwards, we won't know. But for now, it looks like those ones didn't do any training, and yeah, it looks like they'll be out for the game against Sporting Club. As for Sporting Club, the captain, Human, who's actually got an Arsenal tattoo, he's a big Arsenal fan, he's going to be missing from this game due to suspension. I think he picked up a yellow card in the last game against Bodo Glimt. He'll be out. The left back, Nuno Santos, or Nuno Santos, I think how Portuguese people say, I would not know. He's injured, so he'll be out. And Giovanni Quenda, future Chelsea player, he's a doubt for this game. He's actually a very, from what I've seen of him, which doubtably isn't a lot, but still, it's very impressive what I've seen. So those 3, I think, are going to be the big hits. They've also got like Luis Guilherme, former West Ham player. He's out with he's in doubt as well. Let's see if he's back. Players to look out for, of course, Arsenal. However, I forgot to mention this. I was meant to mention this in the intro. Victor Gyökeres derby. This is a Gyökeres derby. Obviously, he forced to move away from Sporting. Oh God, it took so long. That transfer saga gave us such a headache. So we need revenge for that. I know we beat them 5-1 last season, but we need revenge for one, the Gyökeres thing. Second is the Europa League. Our last season in the Europa League, we got knocked out by Sporting Club, and yeah, that was not great for us, was it? And that day, honestly, had such huge ramifications for the remainder of that season, because that was a game where Saliba and Tomiyasu were both injured. They both got injured in that same game, and that's when our season went completely downhill. So yeah, we need thinking for that. We need revenge for that. But yeah, players to look out for them on their side. Luis Suarez, no, not that one. This Luis Suarez, Colombian striker. He's absolutely tearing up in the Portuguese league. Undoubtedly, is the Portuguese league. Pedro Goncalves, or Goncalves, I don't know how to say his name. He's the one that scored against us from the halfway line when Ramsdale was in goal. And yeah, that took it to penalties and they knocked us out. Great memories, great memories. 2 players that also were linked with for quite a while, Ivan Fresneda and Osman Diomande. We were linked with them too very heavily, and now they're both playing in the same team for Sporting Club. And so I think, if we do quite well with our defensive recruitments. So I'd say those two are probably two to keep an eye on. But apparently, Diamante's not been playing as great as he was a couple of years ago. As for Arsenal, of course, Victor Gyökeres has to start in this game. I'm sorry, I do not want to see Gabriel Jesus. Maybe people will say, oh, maybe a little bit of freedom in the Champions League. No. This has to be Victor Gyökeres up front. And look, in Cam, I know Martin Odegaard might be returning to a bit of fitness, but Kai Havertz, we've said this from the start. I've said this from the start. Kai Havertz has to play in behind Gyökeres because when he first returned from injury, this is what was happening. He played in behind Gyökeres, and the link up was brilliant. But then he got injured again. Then Kai Havertz got injured again. Then he came back, and then Arteta, kept on replacing him or substituting him on for Gyökeres as a striker. I'm like, no. That's not what we want to see. We want to see the link up again. Because as we saw against Southampton a few days ago as well, the link up is still there. They only played 10 minutes together. They already got goal and assist. In terms of the starting lineup, look, obviously, let's start from the goalkeeper, David Raya. I do not want to see Kepa. This is the last time that game Southampton, the last time I ever want to see Kepa in an Arsenal shirt. Right back, unfortunately, it seems like no Timber, so it has to be Ben White. I know a lot of people are going to say put Mascara there as well, but I feel like, look, it's not like we can risk thingy, but I'd rather keep Mascara as a centre-back option. I don't want to risk him getting injured. I feel like, I don't know, I've got a feeling like he could fit in a right back. I wouldn't put him at right back to start. I'll still put Ben White. Attacking wise, I think we can get at them with Ben White. But defensively, we need Gabriel and Saliba to lock in. But yeah, that's who is going at centre back, Gabriel and Saliba. Since Gabriel seems to be fine, yeah, those are the two. Left back, I'm not going to go Miles Skelly. It has to be, I was going to say Hincapié. It's not Hincapié either because he's injured. Ricardo Calafiori. Midfield 3 is where it gets interesting. People are going to say Dauman, he deserves it. And genuinely, he actually does deserve it. I'm not even kidding. Rice has to be in there. Rice is the workhorse of the team. Rice and Kai Havertz, those two for me are nailed on. It's whether I put Zubimendi or actually try to go with Dauman. Dauman would be very interesting. Genuinely, it does seem like Dax Dauman actually deserves it, but I'd rather keep him on the bench. I'd probably sub him on maybe a bit later on, but he can change the game for us, which is ridiculous that a 16-year-old is doing this for us. He seems to be the one that's like most up for the challenge. It would be nice to see him get a goal, so it become the youngest goal scorer in the Champions League history. It's got a nice little ring to it, doesn't it? But yeah, I would go for Martin Zubimendi at the other centre mid spot. And up front, of course, Gyökeres, undisputed striker. Left wing, I know Trossard is back, but he's just returning, so I probably would go Martinelli. And on the right, since no Bukayo Saka, and again, a lot of people could say Max Dauman there, but again, Dauman for me is a future midfielder. I don't really want to see him in the right wing spot. I saw a pundit talking about it, saying that, I think it was Rio Ferdinand, saying that players like Ronaldo, Neymar, I can't remember who else they said, but they when they were young, they were playing on the wing to be more safe, to like stop them from risk of injury because there's more chance of getting injured from midfield. That may be true, but that's why I do want to see Dauman more in the middle, but obviously game time has to be managed so he doesn't get the injury. So yeah, like I said, it would have to be Noni Madueke on the right. Hopefully it's enough, but especially with his knee brace, I'm a bit worried. We'll see. A lot of people... Yeah, stop working. A lot of people are going to say maybe put Martinelli on the right, put Trossard on the left. I'm not a fan of Martinelli on the right at all. But, let's see what has to be done, what will be done. Do I think we'll win? I'm not sure. We should win. But I think genuinely, if we can escape here with a draw, then I'll be content with that. Going into the Emirates, hopefully with a win at the Emirates. Is this our first game at the Emirates since the 2-0 win against Everton when Max Dauman scored? That feels like ages ago. Oh my god. So yeah, hopefully, if I think it's going to be a 1-1. That's my prediction for this game. It's not going to be easy. I would be lucky with 1-1, but if we leave there with a 1/2 goal lead, I think we're through. Well, we should be through going into the second leg at the Emirates. But Champions League, anything can happen. Crazy things have happened in the Champions League. But yeah, that's all I gotta say because I don't really know what much to say on the YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that normal stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna try and make my videos better. Cheers, peace.